Welcome to the Ocean Community 50 Under 50 series, presented by the Ocean Community Chamber of Commerce. The road to success starts at Valenti family of auto dealerships, and visibility along the journey increases greatly with the help of 321 Media. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the 50 Under 50 series with the Ocean Community Chamber of Commerce. My name is Ben Barber from 321 Media, and I am very excited because today we are here to celebrate the 50 Under 50 award winner, one of the 50 Under 50, John Kolesar. John, how are you?
Good, Ben. How are you, bud?
Good, thanks. I'm now going to do the embarrassing thing of read about you in front of you.
Cool.
So I hope that you're good with that. John is an accomplished culinary professional with over 25 years of experience in cooking and kitchen management. As the executive chef at Paddy's Beach Club and Watch Hill Catering, he oversees a team of 30 cooks and chefs, managing everything from menu planning and purchasing to quality control and staff training. John is responsible for creating and costing out. Is that a term? Yep. Costing out? See, catering menus, minimizing waste, and maintaining inventory and payroll. His leadership ensures the smooth operation of the seasonal restaurant outlets, all while delivering high-quality dining experiences to customers. In addition to his culinary career, John is deeply committed to his community. He's the vice president of Stonington Youth Football and Cheer, where he organizes fundraising efforts to make the league free for all boys and girls. John coaches in the league, dedicating about 30 hours of volunteer work each season. Under his leadership, the program has grown to over 120 athletes. He also serves as a coach and treasurer for the Oceanside Outlaws, a spring football league that draws kids from southern Rhode Island and eastern Connecticut, which also has reached 120 participants in its first year. I didn't know that you guys were at 120. Yeah. John is a dedicated volunteer, having coached Stonington Youth Lacrosse from 2022 to 2024 and volunteered as a chef for the Dunn's Corners School Pasta Dinner from 2017 to 2025. He balances his professional career and community service with being a loving husband to Laura and a father to Aiden and Emma, making a positive impact in the kitchen and the community. John.
Yeah.
We have so much to talk about. We only have 30 minutes.
I know. We're going to be here for a while.
Oh, my God. Well, I could talk to you about Paddy's all day. I could talk to you about Watch Hill Catering all day. I could talk to you about lacrosse all day and football. Where do you want to start, man?
We can start with the work style first.
Yeah, let's start with work. So how long have you been, or what made you want to become a chef?
I have to say probably my grandmother.
Okay.
Way back when, growing up, spending summers with her in Madison, Connecticut, and just her cooking every day, whether it was meatballs or it was pasta fazool, if it was chicken cutlets, whatever it was, she just had us in the kitchen all day, every day, making pasta and stuff like that. So kind of grew and had a love for it back then. And I realized in high school that I could not sit behind a desk and just do paperwork all day long. That just was boring to me. I know people love it. My brothers love it. But for me, I needed to do something that changes every day. Yeah. Something new is thrown at you every day in the kitchen world, in the restaurant world, whether someone doesn't show up or something's not on a truck for delivery. So things change every day. It's fast paced, and that's kind of what I needed.
That's awesome. How long have you been at Paddy's?
Today's my daughter's 8th birthday.
Hey.
I started Paddy's 2017, May 1st. So 2 weeks after her birthday, I started Paddy's.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to Emma.
Yeah.
I did just check the notes to see your daughter's name. But happy birthday, Emma. So 2017, you started at Paddy's.
Yeah.
What has that been like? Because that is it's seasonal, obviously, but that season is crazy busy.
Yeah. That's, being at Paddy's and doing Watch Hill Catering is kind of in 4 or 5 months, everything's thrown at you.
Yeah.
It's hard to get in time with the family. It's hard to get time in with coaching conditioning camps for football and things like that. But, Paulie, Frankie, and Ange down at Paddy's are great people. They understand the family and family values and trying to spread time. So they help out and try to make sure that I have that time. to get home and do things. But, Paddy's has been wonderful. It's probably been one of the best career things I've ever done. Just switching over from high energy, high paced, year round facilities, whether they're hotels and stuff like I was at, to Paddy's has been great for the family and for my life. So
That's
wouldn't
awesome.
change anything.
And then tell me about Watch Hill Catering.
Watch Hill Catering is my little outlet to go back to kind of like that fine dining, fun bistro style food. Paddy's is your sandwiches, your burgers, things like that, which is fast casual. But Watch Hill Catering lets me get creative and do a lot of different things, and just have fun with people's special day, whether it's their wedding or their birthday. Just try to put something forward that they would love and enjoy, and so would I. So
That's really awesome. Okay, so now let's transition a little bit, and we'll come back to the cooking.
Yeah.
Let's talk about while we're still on cooking, let's talk about the Dunn's Corner school pasta dinners, and volunteering your time as a chef,
Yeah.
For various things over the years, and that pasta dinner. How cool is it to, like, what's that experience like of taking your talents and lending them to the community when it comes to actually being in the kitchen?
So doing the Dunn's Corner thing is kind of, when I started at Paddy's, Paulie and Angela and Frankie, they give back to the community that people don't even know about. And a lot of stuff is like pasta dinners. And the Dunn's Corner one is just one example of all the things. We've done pasta dinners for the Y. We've done pasta dinners for Lions Club. We've done for various schools in town and stuff like that. But, the Dunn's Corner one, Emery Doyle is a librarian there. So Paulie's wife. So we have a tie there. So, me going in with Paulie and just donating our day to go in and cook for the kids so they can raise money for the school with the PTO is, it's great.
Yeah.
I love doing that. If you told me 25 years ago in my 20s that I would be doing fundraising for PTOs and helping out and coaching football and lacrosse and doing stuff like that, I tell you, you're crazy.
Yeah.
But now I'm doing pasta dinners. I'm sitting in front of Board of Finance meetings trying to get field space for some of the youth sports. I would tell you you're nuts, but it's fun. I enjoy it, and it's been great.
So you're the vice president of Stonington Youth Football and Cheer.
Yeah.
How long has that been going on?
I'd say I'm going into my 4th year.
Okay.
My son started the Pee Wee level at Stonington. My daughter started the minis for cheer years ago. So I've been with them in that organization, just trying to grow it. We're up to, I think, 60 or so cheerleaders, and we have like 120 football players.
Wow.
And we do it play for free.
Yeah.
And that's the big thing that we try to stress to people, is that as a parent, you're playing other sports in town. They're $175 just to register.
Yep.
Then you got to pay for uniforms. Then you got to pay for equipment, a bat, a lacrosse stick, lacrosse shoulder pads. Like, it adds up. So, like, you're playing some of these other sports and you could be in for $300-400. For us, we see that as, we're able to give back to the families in the community and say, you know what, it's play for free. You sign up. We do a lot of fundraising.
Yeah.
Because we have to.
Yeah, you'd have to do it. Yeah.
And that's me, leaving work and driving to one of the restaurants in town or to one of the businesses and say, hey, can we get a gift card? Can we get this? And everyone in this community has been so great in helping us do things like that, where we're able to do that for the families in Stonington and North Stonington.
That's incredible.
Yeah. And the thing is too, like, if you need cleats, if you need anything, like, we provide.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that it's play for free for everybody.
What is the I got to call it last year, and it's escaping me. The Westerly Stonington Youth, the Pee Wee game before the Turkey Day game. Is it the Gravy Bowl or something? Like, is that what they called it?
During the youth league, we do play Westerly.
Yeah.
And it's called Rivalry Week.
Yeah.
And that's when we play Westerly at all levels. And,
that was so fun to watch.
It's great.
Last year.
The kids have so much fun.
Yeah.
The Pee Wee level is the Pee Wee football is kind of the version of T-ball.
Yep.
It's instructional. It's trying to get the kids out there to enjoy it, have fun, and just teach them proper way of tackling, the proper way of running, holding a football, things like that. And it's great to see some of the coaches, John Zahari, who's also huge in Stonington when it comes to youth football. He's been a part of that program for many years when his son Chase was playing Pee Wee. And I think Chase now is a junior in high school at Stonington, but John's still on the sideline with us, teaching the kids proper technique and just trying to be a good kid. We'll teach you football, but we're also trying to teach and raise good boys and girls that will get to that next level at high school and be able to be a good human.
Yep, absolutely. That's what it's all about. The during that game, or the 3 games that happened that day, at least 3, it was fun because it was like one team, like they were all the first 2 games in either direction, I think, were blowouts, and then the last one was competitive, and I was like, this is so fun because this is like these kids playing right now are going to be rivals in high school on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And like from what I see on both ends of the field right now, like it's going to be great 10 years from now, 5 years from now. And that's so fun. But it is all about learning teamwork and learning all of that stuff. And that is so cool. So you are now as a coach and treasurer for the Oceanside Outlaws.
Yes.
Which I know our neighbor Jay Bradford, also one of the 50 under 50.
Yep.
Is he's been updating me about the Outlaws.
Yeah, he's been great with our social media and kind of getting the word across to the community about Oceanside Outlaws. We have kids from Westerly on the same team as Stonington kids, with Ledger kids, with Griswold, Killingly. They're all coming down from East Greenwich, West Greenwich to play with us on the program. So it's great because these kids play against each other in the fall, but then they play with each other in the spring, and they get to know each other and grow up with each other. And when they're on the sidelines against each other in the fall, afterwards, they're able to take a picture together and hug or do whatever, because they're growing up with each other. That's great. That's
fantastic.
Yeah.
I love that. And the first games for that should be starting soon, right?
Yeah, it's going to be the 19th.
Yeah.
The 19th at Stonington High School. We're going to do all 4 levels. We have a 9U, 11U, which I coach, 13U, and 14U.
Awesome.
So we're going to do that, and we're hoping for a great turnout. These kids have put a lot of work in the last month and a half.
Yeah.
We've done a couple of scrimmages. We had a jamboree up in Chelsea, Mass, this past weekend. So the kids are excited because, again, they get to play football for an extra 3-4 months of the year, not just in the fall. So
were you always a big you played football when you were a kid, I would assume?
I played football, when I was a kid, and in high school. I grew up in Madison, Connecticut, so I played for the Hand Tigers down there, which, football is everything in that community, and it makes you a better person as you grow up. The kids that I played high school football with, those are like my best friends to this day. All the guys are at my wedding party. We still send text. There's a group chat that goes off every day, at least 10 times a day, about something. So like the camaraderie and the friendships you grow at the youth level will carry you into your adulthood and life. That's what we try to teach the kids now, is what we've had when I was growing up.
That's really awesome. How do you find time for all of these things all at the same time?
It's tough being a volunteer.
Yeah.
You want to always give back when you can. And, seeing my kids play, and even if my kids didn't play, I was going to find an avenue to get into coaching and helping things.
Yeah.
Because when I was at the Ocean House after Hurricane Sandy, that's kind of when like the volunteering for me and giving back started. Hurricane Sandy hit the community pretty hard down in Squamicut. And I remember being at the Ocean House and being like in a position where like, I can help. The Ocean House is here. We didn't get that affected, but I had the means. So, I had a Jeep Grand Cherokee at the time. I had coolers. I had hot boxes. I was able to get coffee and hot chocolate and Cambros outside my passenger doors In the back, I had couple different soups, and I would just drive down to was it St. Margaret's, right down there in Misquamicut?
St. Clair?
St. Clair's.
St. Clair's.
So I would drive over there because that's where National Guard and National Grid kind of were stationed on the high ground over there.
Yeah.
I'd pull into the parking lot and open the door and just feed the guys and girls that were there that were helping out. And, the Ocean House gave me the means to do that. And that just kind of stuck with me to, like, if you have the means and you can figure it out, you figure it out and help and give back to people. And that's kind of, after that point is when I was early 30s. And I was like, you know what? That's kind of what we got to do now.
Yeah.
Help each other out. And that transitioned into doing Lions Clubs, celebrity chef dinners and things like that, volunteering time for that, whether it's pasta dinners, and then also now with youth sports and always just finding time to give back. I'll work in the summertime, I'll work 80 hours a week, but then I'll figure out how to get to practice at 6 o'clock and do that till 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. And in the fall, like I said, Pauline, Ange, and Frankie are great. They let me leave work at 5:30 and go coach for 2.5 hours a night.
Yeah.
And, in August, in the summer, that's hard. We're a summer business.
Yep.
But I'm able to leave. Football in the summertime is 5 nights a week, and I'm gone and I go over the coach. So it's a big testament to them for allowing me to do that, as well as me being able to coordinate and organize my kitchen enough to be able to do that.
Paddy's, from a leadership perspective, is such a family organization. That was, and when you guys came in for an interview and a meeting a month ago, and it was so fun just sitting around the table with all of you.
Yeah.
That was a blast.
It's natural, I met Paulie and Frankie and Ange when I was at the Ocean House. I think I met them back in 2011, 2012. And we just started with talk and hang out and kind of be just chit chat here and there. And you just have become friends. And, after years and years of hanging out and talking, they said, why don't you just come work with us?
Yeah.
And I said, that's probably the best thing I can do. I already had, my son at the time was 2. My daughter was just born. So I was like, let's do it.
Yeah.
And, it's just a family atmosphere that they have there where they care about each other and all of us together. And we care about helping and giving back as much as we can.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you get, now I know Watch Hill Catering has a little bit more of a season, obviously, because people can hire caterers whenever.
Yep.
But do you get some downtime in the winter?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Good.
Yeah. There's downtime. And that's where, my downtime from work is when we started spring football.
Yep.
So spring football for us started in December.
Right.
Trying to organize, get licensing, get insurances through the league, and finding a league that we could be a part of, which is New England Youth Tackle, which has teams from New Hampshire to Boston to Springfield to Bridgeport. So we're in that league now. So now we get to travel to these places to play teams. Our first game on the 19th, we have Springfield coming down to play us at Stonington. So we travel, but organizing that in the off season, as well as finding time to organize for Stonington Youth Football, because like I said, trying to get donations.
Yep.
We're in the process of trying to get new uniforms, and we need money for that. That's not cheap.
Right.
So, that's about $12,000 expense that we don't want to put on the parents. So we're trying to get some donations, and we've gotten probably about a little over half from a lot of generous families and businesses in town. So in the offseason, I'm also trying to set up a fundraiser for Stonington Youth Football as well as the VFW as a joint fundraiser effort. Military and vets are big.
Yeah.
And they're a huge part of our lives and community, no matter what anyone says. And trying to give back to the VFW, to those veterans that have laid everything out on the line for us, is kind of a small thing where, let's help them as we can help ourselves type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to create a Salute to Vets merchandise with the design from a friend of mine from over at LEM Designs, where we could potentially set up a commemorative merch item and kind of sell that to the community, and try to, that profit will go to both of us, but mainly also for them. So because they need a roof done, they need siding done, they need some plumbing, they need a lot of stuff done over there that they've been trying to raise money, and kind of so do we. So trying to do a joint fundraising effort with the VFW at the same time.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Wow. And that's not even on this list of
No.
accomplishments and whatnot. Man, that's fantastic. I know. I'm like, do you have any time off? And you're like, yeah. And then I used it to do all of this other stuff.
Yeah.
Wow. What are some of your favorite things to do when you do have time off? Like, are there events in the community that you really enjoy? Are there, just like to go to the movies with your kids? Like, what?
I just like being able to just, in my front yard, I got lacrosse nets, I got a rebounder, I got the basketball hoop. So just kind of going out with my daughter, throwing the softball around, or playing lacrosse with my son in the front yard, or basketball. Those are great. We love going to, the duck race coming up. We love doing that. We love the light parade that the town puts on, the chamber puts on. Is a great event for the whole community. Everyone gets out there in the freezing cold and sets up and does that. I organize the last couple of years. I'm going to keep doing it, is the Mystic Irish Day Parade.
Yeah.
We get the Stonington Youth Football and Cheer to march in that every year. So we've done it the past 2 years. So I'm trying to keep that as a tradition that we keep going. So I set that up with them over there. And, we have about 60 to 70 football and cheerleaders marching that with us. So
Wow.
it's fun for the kids. That's another fun event that we like to do. But again, just hanging out with my wife and kids is kind of the downtime.
Yeah, that's great. Now I know that you work at the beach every day during the season, but do you get to spend any time down there, or do you get to enjoy the water or the beach itself?
I would
Is
say,
there any relaxation for you in the summer?
Yeah, there is. It's funny because, our property's so big, and we have our owners have a house down there next to the property. So again, when I'm busy, my wife brings the kids down to the house. They set up and post up at the beach all day. So in between time at Paddy's, I get to run over, hang out with them for a little bit. Don't jump in the ocean. I think I've probably been in the ocean maybe twice in 2 years down there because there's just too much time, not enough time to do it. But, it's fun to have, again, a family atmosphere where my wife can bring Ada and Emma down there, hang out. I come have lunch with them, spend some time with them, and then they go home.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. The Paddy's, the property is huge.
Massive.
It really is. Like deceivingly big.
Yep.
What has been your favorite part about working there for the last 8 years?
I think just the people in general. It's a great place to people watch. It's a great place to work with some great individuals that come across. I think that's probably the best part, is just the different types of people that come in. Because again, you learn in the restaurant business is someplace, I said, changes every day. It's fast paced, and you learn something new every day from somebody.
Yep.
Whether it's my dishwasher, whether it's a manager, whether it's a server, a bartender, or a bar back, you learn something new every day if you're paying attention.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the best part about it, is that it's never stagnant. Something new or something different is going to rise every day. I think that's been the best part.
I feel like, especially at Paddy's too, because you have this Jekyll and Hyde sounds like a negative term, but you have it's so diverse.
Yeah.
From it is a family beach restaurant most of the time.
Yeah.
During the day.
Yeah.
And I remember going to Paddy's for the first time as a kid, and that's where, when my friend's family went to the beach, that's where we went to the beach.
Yeah.
And park at Paddy's and have lunch there, and it was just this really cool place, tons of families hanging out. And then also you have the on Sundays, I believe, right, when it or occasionally at night, when you have the parties, and then it's a completely different vibe, and Sundays
is a completely different vibe. Sundays is a fun atmosphere.
Yeah.
When I was younger, it was the greatest place for me to go. I remember going there as like in my early 20s and things like that. I remember that.
Yeah.
But it's still, that's one day.
That's one day.
And Mesquamaket, no matter if the sun is shining, Mesquamaket is going to be busy.
Yep.
And it doesn't matter if you're from out of town or from in town. We have a diverse crowd.
Yeah.
We have fun. Families have fun. I bring my wife and kids there all the time. They have a great time. And, some people don't realize that can happen.
Right.
There's days that you don't go to Mesquamaket and there's days you do, but at Paddy's, the stigma of it just being a complete chaos and off the wall party is not the case.
No, not at all.
It's a fun environment for everybody, whether you're in your 50s or 60s or you're in your 20s and 30s.
Yep.
Or you're 15, 16, 12 years old with your family. Like, it's great for everybody. My kids come down there all the time. We're doing Buck a Shuck nights this year, Monday through Thursday, probably, with BOGO sandwich ideas and stuff like that. We have a lot of bands. We're very big with the United Theater and getting their bands down there to perform. Paulie's son Rowan is part of the United Theater band. They played 4 times this past summer. I think they're going to play maybe 2 or 3 more times this summer there. So,
he's such a talented kid.
That kid is.
Yeah.
The way he did a senior project over there is amazing.
What did he do for his
He organized a battle of the bands over at the United Theater.
Oh, that was his senior project?
That was a senior project. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It was great.
Wow.
And I think the last night he was coming off like 100 fever. I think he thanked Mucinex at the end because that got him through the night. So he's a good kid.
He is. Yeah. Those, the Doyle kids have been, I was lucky enough to get to know them 10 years ago, and just a fantastic family.
Yeah.
How did you feel when you found out that you were one of the 50 under 50?
I was like, man, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I don't do the things I do for acknowledgement. It is what it is. I consider it my job. Again, I consider it my job as a father to support and go out and do things. So for the towner community to recognize that was pretty cool, because there's a lot of people in this town that are deserving of it. People that I sit on the board with, a lot of the sports things that do a lot of volunteer work. But to be recognized by Lisa in the chamber is amazing. Like I said, there's so many, yourself included. I know you can't win because you're here interviewing me, but again, the things that you do in this town are great and amazing. And
I will mute you.
And I'm there's guys on that list that I've done charity dinners with, that I've worked with, whether it's Mark Lace or it's Adam Young. I've been working with Jay next door on Outlaws. So a lot of great people on that list. Yeah.
Well, it is incredibly well deserved, John. Do you have a favorite thing? Did I ask you if you have a favorite thing to cook?
No.
Do you have a favorite thing to cook?
I'd probably say chicken parm.
Ooh.
I think a good breaded chicken cutlet with some homemade sauce and some fresh mozzarella. I think that's kind of a favorite for me.
Well,
very simple.
It's my favorite thing to eat.
Yeah, so. I know, it's right. You put that on a piece of Bronx bakery bread or something like that. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Great answer. Anything you want to promote? Outlaws football, at Stonington Youth Football, Paddy's,
football,
Watch Hill Catering, whatever. What do you want to promote?
I'd say Stonington Youth Football. If you're out there, if you're a business and you can help, please reach out to our Facebook page on Instagram. We're in need of some stuff and equipment for the kids, and we're just trying to give the kids the best equipment, uniforms, and environment that they could succeed and bring to the next level when they go into high school and beyond. So
very cool.
I think giving back to the community that way is amazing for people to do.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, John, 321 and Paddy's will be working together this summer, so I'll be seeing a lot more of you.
And we'll work on that chicken farm together.
I'll be there. And also our intention is to be there for the for April 19th for the Outlaws first games
Nice.
on 3-2-1. So thank you so much
Appreciate
for
it. Thank you
everything
for
that
having
you
me.
do. Really appreciate it. John Kolesar, executive chef at Paddy's Beach Club, Watch Hill Catering, the vice president of Stonington Youth Football, and the coach and treasurer of the Oceanside Outlaws, and so many other things. If this man comes into your business and asks for something, please give it to him because it's a great cause. So thank you so much,
Thank you,
John.
sir.
This has been a real treat for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been the 50 Under 50 interview series for the Ocean Community Chamber of Commerce. My name is Ben Barber. Thank you so much. Thank you to John. And we will see you guys next time. Bye for now.